Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Nursing Adapt. Today we would be discussing about the first topic of anatomy and physiology, that is introduction to human body. I'm sorry I cannot do it in the screen in the full screen mode because of the issue in the screen recorder. So I'll have to do it this way today. I'll try my best to put it in the screen full screen mode next time. So for today please adjust. So let's study about the first topic in the anatomy and physiology, that is introduction to the human body. For understanding anatomy and physiology, we need to understand these two terms very clearly. Okay, the first one, anatomy, it stands for, it is related to the body structure, the form and structure of a body, and how all the contents in the structure are related to one another. Okay, anatomy is basically the structure, physiology is basically the functioning of that structure. Okay, anatomy means structure, physiology means functioning of the structure. So anatomy and physiology together make up a branch of biology that deals with the study of form and function of the body. Okay, another thing we need to understand is the cell. A cell is the smallest independent unit of living matter, also called the functional unit of any living organism. Okay, coming to the division of anatomy, the whole of anatomy is divided into two categories. The first one is the gross anatomy, that is gross means the larger aspect, okay, which we also call macroscopic anatomy. Now here macro means the larger part and scope means to see. So the larger structures that we can see through our naked eyes come under gross anatomy. It is further divided into three types. First one is the surface anatomy, that is the skin or the surface of any organ, any system, any layer, that is called surface anatomy. Second one is the regional anatomy. There are various regions in our body, peritoneal region, abdominal region, cranial region, pelvic region. So the structures lying under these regions, they come under regional anatomy. Third one is the systemic anatomy, that is structures of a particular system, for example respiratory system, digestive system, excretory system. So the structures coming under all these systems that we would be studying in the systemic anatomy. Coming to the microscopic anatomy, the second category of whole of anatomy is microscopic anatomy. Here micro means the smaller particles, the smaller structures that we cannot see through our naked eye. So we need a microscope to see these structures. Okay, so there are two further divisions in microscopic anatomy, that is cytology, that is study of cell, and histology, the study of tissues and its components. Coming to the levels of structural complexity, now how a human body is formed, what is the basic unit and what is the what forms after combining all these units together, that we will be studying in levels of structural complexity. So whether it's a non-living organism or a living organism, they both come from the smallest unit, that is atom. When some group of atoms combine, they form molecules. When group of molecules combine, they form cells. Now cells is a division of living organism. Now when group of cells combine, they form tissues. Group of tissues, they form organ. Group of organs form systems. Systems like digestive system, respiratory system, all these systems. A total there are 11 systems in the human body, and when all these systems combine together, they form the whole human body. Coming to the organ systems in human body, what are the 11 organ systems? The first one is the integumentary system, that is the skin, hair and nails. All these three parts basically come under integumentary system. Second is the skeletal system, which is composed of bones and joints. Third is the muscular system, which is composed of muscles. Fourth is the respiratory system, which is basically responsible for the air exchange between lungs and the environment. So this is composed of lungs, trachea, larynx, nasal passage and other smaller structures like alveoli, bronchioles, etc. Fifth is the nervous system, that is composed of brain, spinal cords and nerve. Spinal cord, there is only one spinal cord, and nerves. or neurons. Neurons are the smallest unit of nervous system. Sixth is the circulatory system, which is composed of heart and blood vessels. Seventh is the lymphatic system, also called immune system. Now this is composed of lymph nodes, thymus gland, spleen, bone marrow and tonsils. All these organs, all these lymph nodes, thymus gland, spleen, bone marrow, tonsils, these organs are responsible directly or indirectly in immunity of the human body. Okay. Eighth one is the endocrine system, which is responsible for the secretion of hormones. So there are basically two glands in the human body, two types of glands, endocrine glands and the exocrine glands. Endocrine glands are the ones which secrete hormones. For now you can just cram it up that endocrine glands, they secrete hormones which is secreted directly into the blood, and exocrine glands are the ones which secrete enzymes, and enzymes are secreted into the ducts. Through ducts they reach their target organs. Okay, and in endocrine glands hormones reach the target organs through blood only. Okay, so for now you can cram it up. We will be studying about endocrine and exocrine glands in detail in the further topics. Ninth one is the urinary system, which is composed of kidneys, ureters, urinary bladder and urethra. 10th one is the digestive system, which is composed of stomach, intestines, oral cavity. It starts from the oral cavity, then comes esophagus, stomach, intestines, etc. Okay, further organs are there. 11th and the last one is the reproductive system, which is further categorized into male and female reproductive system. In males there are testes, scrotum, prostate gland, seminal vesicle and penis. In females there is ovary, uterus, cervix and vagina, and further organs also like fallopian tubes, etc., that we would be studying in the further topics. Coming to the basic life process. So when we have to distinguish between a living organism and a non-living organism, there are basic 6 processes of life that every living organism goes through. First one is the metabolism. Metabolism, it is a combined process of two types of processes, anabolism and catabolism. Anabolism means the formation of a complex molecule from the simpler ones. So the simpler molecules, they combine and form a bigger molecule, a complex one, that is called anabolism. And catabolism is from a complex molecule, it divides into or breaks down into simpler ones so that it is easy to absorb by the body, that is called catabolism. Both of these together, these two processes, they go on in the body simultaneously. Some things anabolize while other things catabolize. Both of these things together, both of these processes together, they are called metabolism. Second one is the responsiveness. So any living organism, when they see any stimulus from the outside or outer environment, they respond to that. So the ability to detect any change and respond to that is called responsiveness. Third one is the movement, change in pose, position, place, that is called movement. Fourth is the growth, change in size, shape, abilities, that is called growth. Fifth one is the differentiation. Since the time of conception, there are many immature cells in the body of any fetus or any living organism that has been conceived since the time of conception. So these immature cells, they grow into the permanent mature cells, that is called differentiation. Sixth one is the reproduction, the ability to produce offsprings is called reproduction. So all these 6 processes are present in every living organism existing in the earth. Coming to planes and sections in the human body, there are 3 types of planes and sections. Planes and sections are basically same things. Okay. So the first one is the sagittal plane. The vertical, it is a vertical plane that divides the body into right and left sides, the right and left parts. Okay, this it is further divided into 2 types. First is mid-sagittal. When the vertical plane divides the body into right and equal halves, right and left equal halves, that is called mid-sagittal because it divides the body into right and left equal parts. Okay, it goes from the midline of the body. That is called mid-sagittal plane. Parasagittal is the one which does not divide the body from the midline. Suppose we are drawing a parasagittal plane in the lower extremity. So it would be dividing the lower extremity into two halves, but not the whole body into two halves, right? So that is why it's called parasagittal plane, which does not divide the whole body into two halves. Second one is the frontal or coronal plane. It comes from the coronal suture. Okay, if you haven't studied about the suture, we would be studying it in the further topics. For now, you just understand what coronal or frontal plane is. It is the plane that divides the body into anterior and posterior portions. Okay, divides the body into anterior part and a posterior part. Third is the transverse or cross-sectional or horizontal plane. It is a plane that divides the body into superior and inferior parts. Okay, so don't get confused a lot. We would be studying it through a diagram. So here you can see this is the coronal plane. Starting from the sagittal plane, we would see. So this is the sagittal plane. Okay, this is the sagittal plane, which is dividing the body into right and left halves. Okay, if the sagittal plane was here dividing the leg, it would not be considered as mid sagittal. Now here what we can see is mid sagittal plane. Okay, coming to this one, coronal plane. Look at this, coronal plane goes like this. So it divides the body into anterior and posterior parts, not necessarily in equal halves. Okay, transverse plane, it divides the body into superior and inferior parts. Now the upper one is always superior and the lower one is always inferior part. Okay, so I hope you understood this much. What is sagittal plane, what is coronal plane, and what is transverse plane. For today we have only this much topics. Next topic will be cell. It is also a part of the first chapter only. So I'll see you in the cell next topic. I hope you liked the video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked the video, and see you in the next topic. Till then, bye bye, take care.